I mean, honestly, at this point, how can I make it any more clear? The title itself says it all. High risk. High risk, you should have an actual... High risk individuals should have, therefore, in a sense, high risk cause and effect. High risk, effect, and cause, which has a very, in a sense, intrinsic response, which therefore has to do with an intellectual understanding of that, which is to create the very foundation of a standing of common sense, which is already reiterated at the very basic atomic level. Alright? Now, we got a wonderful situation here. We got an amazing situation here. We got to really reiterate exactly every type of what elevation of individuality allows us to be clear and create clarity in the terms of leadership that allows us to be having the bigger picture and at the same time still being liberated from ourselves and liberated from the self to be that which is to become. And I don't need to reiterate this, especially if the fact that if those individuals who are already aware of the AFMA and etc. and all of that jazz already have the ability and the knowledge, which is incredibly important, to be enlightened enough to shine as that self-enlightened soul, which is, I use the word soul. I shouldn't use the word soul. Let's put it this way. The self-enlightened, just enlightenment of self. Illuminating self-illumination. That's what it is, alright? And, it's not this nonsense that goes with tyranny and advocating for tyranny. It's not this nonsense that's advocating for this nonsense that's going on in other countries and this type of, this doublethink that's advocated with very strict and clear enemies to be the people, to liberty itself, and to the American government, and to etc., etc., etc. This is something that's obviously, for example, the CIA, the bad elements, not the good elements, the bad elements, they're not going to quit. Same thing with the NSA, same thing with George Soros, same thing with these criminals. Clinton, the very history portrays the very existence and commitment to the enslavement of humanity, to the degradation of mind and peace and every form of serenity. That is what. And at the same time, there's very good parts in Rothschilds who don't necessarily want the degradation and the killing of humanity, because when you get to a certain point, especially when you have that much money, at a certain point you can't, and I've already reiterated this, so I'm not going to repeat myself. So, what I know is very complex, but at the same time it's very simple, because I say that over and over and over and over, because it does not make sense to be in a type of evolutionary state when you have the ability to lead this renaissance and not have the self-determination of what that is to become a yoga, to become a self-aware human being with awareness of consciousness, and that you're leading into. I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways and reasons and facts and evidence and knowledge that allows you to enlighten yourself, and I can do whatever it takes to enlighten you. That could be a job that my job as a teacher, but I don't want to teach, and I do want to teach in a sense, because teachers are pupils, pupils are teachers, teachers are students, students are lessons, lessons are adolescence, adolescence is learning that which is to become, that which is the teacher teaching, and the entire comprehension of this communicative, this symbiotic relationship which is what leadership is, which is what leading is, which is what the U.S. government is, which is what the U.S. Constitution is, which is what the Bill of Rights is, and ultimately the Declaration of Independence is to allow ourselves to have the liberty to therefore understand through the clearness of knowledge and eyesight and mindsight and third eye, and being clear-bodied and rejuvenated and being devoid of toxins, having no toxins in your body, allows us to be able to lead the way in every type of circumstance when it comes to all these said societal, political, economical problems, which are in a sense in existence but non-existence, especially to those who are already enlightened, who have already transcended that reality to therefore lead the reality of that which is to become, which is the very illumination, and implementation of the very existence of the very factual, documented desire, will, and existence of those who want to therefore progress the very fruition of humanity in terms of absolute liberation. And that has nothing to do with the nonsense bullshit, excuse my language. No, don't excuse my language. It has nothing to do with the bullshit that George Soros does and the type of chaos that's reigned with these individuals. I mean, it's clear. It's clear as day. So the fact of the matter is that the positive fruition is already, it's clearly known, and it's going to be known faster, not only to the older generations I would say 30 plus, those that aren't adolescents, but it's even more clear to the adolescents, I would say 16 to 25, that are able to truly discern, truly lead, and truly take awareness of the fact that the type of control, for example, which I've already reiterated before, that the type of control that money has is not to have you progress in life. It's not. Because the fact of the matter is, for example, and this is obvious, and I don't like saying this over and over because it just... Anyway, I'm going to say it anyway. Okay, Solar Warden, we got secret space programs, we got technology, we got advanced technology, we've had the most beneficial free energy technology, we have the most advanced energy technology. This became secret because the taxed dollars are going towards programs that we have no awareness of as we the people. You know, who funded, where's that money going into the USS Hill and Coulter? Alright? Where's that money? Where's the money going to the reverse engineering of the very aircraft that was shut down in Roswell? I mean, this is just knowledge. In a sense, at this point, it should be common knowledge. Because we're going into the 21st century leading the Renaissance. We cannot, in a sense, lead into the Renaissance if we do not know the facts of the actual physics of what allows us to progress in the first place. You can't have the knowledge of a disinformational lie and that's based off education that's supposed to subject you to a reality that's a limited potential of your very existence. I'm literally explaining it in the entire process of that, which literally is the stepping stone, the ladder that allows you to grow to that which you become. I've already said that before. I don't need to say it again, but I will say it again because every single moment, every single day, every single existence allows every single human being, whether you're in a third, fourth, fifth, second, or first world country, first world nation, you have the ability to ascend with the entire planet, therefore with the entire solar system and all the planets thereon, the solar system, to create prosperity, freedom, and true liberation throughout the entire ecosystem. That's which we provide in our mind, bodies, and spirits, and our spirit is therefore enlightened to allow us to progress into the very ascendance that we're supposed to be all the time. You know, this is all about ascendance. This is all about the progression. This is all about the leading of the best possible fruition that we could possibly have. And there's so many avenues for peace, prosperity, stability, and sustainability that the limited thinking that requires to be the placement in a box upon the said limited thinking of an individual does not exist, especially for those who are already enlightened. You cannot put a clear glass cage over a kitten and expect that kitten to instantly become blind, assuming that that cage is something that automatically creates an invisible shield that does not allow that kitten to see outside the walls. That kitten still sees outside the walls. It still therefore knows that there's a world outside of the box. Therefore, because there's some invisible box that's put over, in a sense, the human psyche, there's no reason why should be that limitation of the human psyche to continue and progress. Because the very truth is what sets you free, to be true of that which you are to become, to become that which is freedom, which is guarded, protected in the first place. Which is why tyrants like George Soros are literally in handcuffs, like I would say right now. Why? Is it just like, oh, as I have the power to snap my fingers and make something happen? No, it's actually, I'm gonna explain this very well because it's common sense, it's common agreement, and it's common knowledge. It's common knowledge which allows for the common agreement for the very fact of that which you want to protect, which becomes a duty, which is protecting the U.S. Constitution, which is to support life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, which is to become that which you all want to become. In a sense, that's where in a sense Christianity comes in, and that's a very important key part, especially now today, which is what, the 16th of April 2017. Very, very key time, very key point, very, very key turning point for liberty of humanity and the downfall of tyranny. So I've reiterated this over and over. I can reiterate it again, but what my duty is not necessarily to be on this plane and explain this type of evolution every single step of the way. I'm trying to accelerate everything that I can off the basic knowledge that is common knowledge to therefore progress the very evolution of evolutionary states, which is accelerated at an exponential rate every single time. Because this is every single human being, our confidence is not limited to what happens on planet Earth. Our confidence radiates throughout the entire cosmos. And so as, for example, as we are, which is the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, as ambassadors to the galaxy, we are ambassadors to the galaxy now, in the present moment. Not necessarily in the future, which is also true. We are ambassadors in the future. But we are ambassadors now, therefore leading the very existence of positivity, radiance, and intuitional light, educational light, and enlightened light throughout the entire existence of every effect that we have right now in our actions and our awareness and our knowledge and in our intuition allows us to be the very progenitors of creation throughout all of creation, throughout all of the universe. We are a very important part of the universe. We are a very important part of existence. Therefore, we are intrinsically connected and changing and transforming in positive ways throughout the entire existence of all of creation. So, I can make that clear in about 1 trillion different ways, but my duty is not to make that clear. My duty is to do that and to create evolutionary ladders, that and beyond. And therefore, what I just stated in the past few minutes, whether time is minute or whatever you consider it as, I've already progressed space and time in a condensed condensed amount of time for people to understand, especially if you're enlightened. You can know the facts and the knowledge that progresses the very state that I'm explaining at the now moment, which allows you to progress into that stepping stone that can slingshot you into that which I already explained a very long time ago. But anyway. This is it. This is how we do it. This is the amazing reality of history being made right now, being created right now. Whether it's talk or whether it's action or whether it's talk and action or whether it's neither. Every single force of creation is involved in the positive fruition of all that is positive with perfection, which is in the image of God's eyes, which is absolutely excellent, which is what perfection and extraordinary existence is all about. Not that it's about me and not that I want to bring my ego or anything comparison to ego or anything like that physical. But my name is Christopher Michael Curtis Bowen. I'm the host of Fire of the Liberty, and this is another episode of April 16th, 2017. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is only the beginning.